gets killed! The one who is following being some wonderful man!
Welcome to the 29th episode of the Pick Up the Rifle and Shoot series, featuring my BAIKAL IZH-18MN single-shot break-action rifle and 7.62x39, also known as the BK-18 from DayZ. Now, if you don't know what DayZ is, it's an online survival game that takes place in the post-apocalyptic world, where zombies are not the only dangerous thing to watch out for, it's other survivors. Now, the BK-18, in my very biased opinion, is the best rifle in DayZ. It's simple and accurate, bare bones if you will, portraying the best qualities of the real-life IZH-18MN. Of course, there are differences. It is a video game after all. Like how spent cases don't automatically eject when you break the action. But that doesn't take away from how great this rifle really is, how much fun it is to shoot, and of course, the badassery of being in the AK caliber, and just perfect for the post-apocalyptic world. So, here she is, my BAIKAL IZH-18MN, or simply the DayZ BK-18 break-action single-shot rifle. As luck would have it, I found my BK-18 through ProxyBid, auctioned off as a new old stock, new unbox, that no one really paid attention to, and I got it for a decent price. Now these rifles are rare to find, especially in the DayZ caliber 7.62x39, as they were only imported briefly in the mid-2000s, among others in different calibers. Interestingly enough, they all carry the Remington name, but BAIKAL is the true manufacturer, and as you expect with Russian-made guns, they're all killer and no filler. Now, I'll go over more detail, but first let's make sure she's all clear. First up is the wood stock and a nice rubber butt pad, which actually works well in absorbing a lot of the recoil. However, it did make the length of pull too long for my taste. The walnut stock fits nice and tight and has a beautiful dark green pattern with a nice checkering on the grip. On the left side of the rifle, you can see the barrel has the caliber 7.62x39 engraved, and the receiver has the model number IZH-18MN along with Remington's logo on the right. It's interesting this receiver is nickel plated, as these rifles are more commonly found with a blued receiver, which I would prefer to match the DayZ's BK-18, but nevertheless, I'm still grateful to own one. And underneath reveals the true manufacturer BAIKAL. Very cool. Moving up top, on the rear tang you can see the rifle serial number and the cocking indicator. On the top of the barrel chamber, there is an 11mm dovetail where you can have the option of mounting an optic, unlike in DayZ. Moving along, the rear side is a standard notch, slightly angled forward, and it can only be adjusted for windage by loosening the set screw. Next is the checkered handguard, which mounts below the barrel and may be removed by lifting the bottom latch, allowing the barrel to be separated from the receiver, effectively becoming a takedown rifle, perfect to carry in a backpack. Now, I gotta show off that beautiful spiral pattern profile on the barrel. It really stands out. From the chamber to the muzzle, it looks amazing. Also, the barrel length is close to 24 inches, hammer forged and chrome lined, as you expect from Russian-made guns. On the business end, the front side is adjustable for elevation only, by pressing down on the front blade to unlock the front screw so it may be turned to raise or lower the front side. And lastly, take a look at that deep angle cut on the crown. It looks awesome. Never seen a crown like that. Now let's flip around to the other side. Here's another view of the walnut stock in that beautiful grain. On the right side of the rifle, you can see the import mark from USSG in Rockledge, Florida, and IMZ Russia for Izh's mechanical factory plant for BAIKAL, which today has merged with Kalashnikov Concern. Next up is the trigger, which in fact is the worst I've ever experienced. The pull is over 9 pounds and it's just terrible, and combined with a very long gritty take-up and a ton of creep, makes for an extremely mushy trigger with inconsistent, unpredictable brakes. And even after I think I got used to it, it would throw me off once in a while when I least expect it. And lastly, on the rear, you can see the crossbolt safety and the rear lever to break the action open. Overall, I'm very happy with my BK-18, and owning one in real life was very eye-opening. Shooting her was quite challenging, and similar to my Game Master 760 pump action, prone position with a break action rifle does not make any sense. After each shot, I was forced to get up, break my position side picture in order to reload. I just couldn't get enough leverage to do it while prone. Then I would have to try to reacquire the same position side picture from the previous shot. However, even after all that, my BK-18 impressed the hell out of me, and she proved to be quite accurate even with that trigger from hell. So with that, let's get on with the shooting. Off to the 25-yard range. I zeroed her at 25 yards in the same way as my AKs, SKS, and Mosins. Center mass, point of aim, point of impact. With this zero, I expect to be on target at 200 yards using 6 o'clock hold or center mass hold. After I adjusted the front and rear sight to hit center, I proceeded to shoot these 2 rounds to confirm my 25-yard zero. Let's see how it went. As you can see, all 3 rounds hit center of the target with no issues at all. Very cool. Now let's see how she does at 100 meters, the setup for the Steel Circle Challenge. With my 25-yard zero, I expected the rounds to be a couple inches high from my point of aim at 100 meters. With a center mass hold, I proceeded to shoot these 3 rounds. Let's see how it went. As you can see, the 3 rounds hit about 3 inches high and 1 inch to the left, and surprisingly they grouped quite well. I'm impressed. Now it's time for the Steel Circle Challenge. I set up 5 6-inch steel circle targets at 100 meters and challenged myself to knock them off in only 5 rounds, 5 for 5. I held below the steel target as my rounds were hitting high and slightly to the left. Oh, and no mulligans with this challenge. This was my only attempt. Let's see how it went. Okay, so I failed to do it in 5 rounds. I completely missed that 4th target. Well, I just can't leave it standing. Let's load up one more round. Okay, so that was disappointing. It hit the rail below, causing the target to fall on its side. Now I can barely even see it anymore. I'm not even going to try to knock it down. It'll be a waste of time and I'll probably end up hitting the rail again. Damn it, oh well. I superimposed all the hits so you can see how the group looks. I'm very impressed with those 3 rounds lined up on the right side, confirming the accuracy I was getting from my 100-meter group earlier. And I'm sure I can complete this challenge in 5 rounds, but for now, it is what it is. Challenge failed. Now let's see how she does at 200 yards. My first rounds with my 25-yard zero at 200 yards were hitting about 3 inches low from my point of aim, using a 6 o'clock hold. However, the windage was spot on. So I changed my aim to center mass and then proceeded to shoot 10 rounds to see how she does. As in my opinion, 10 rounds gives a shooter the best measure of what their rifle is capable of and what they're capable of. Now unfortunately, this was my only 10 round session, as more club members arrived at the 200 yard range, making it difficult to continue filming. Well, anyways, let's see how it went. The target I'm using is the NRA-C 200 yard target. I also added a shoot and see 12-inch circle target from Big Dog Targets, so it's easier to see the hits. As you can see, 4 of the first 5 rounds grouped very well. Without that flare on the bottom, that would be about a 4-inch group, and windage was still spot on. Very cool. Alright, so far so good. And of course, as you already know, shooting 5 rounds just isn't enough. Let's shoot another 5 rounds and see what you can do. So the next 3 rounds are going to be a bit shocking. I adjusted the target cameras to see what happens, but in a nutshell, the next 3 rounds went all below the target. Okay, target camera back on center. As you can see, the last 2 rounds were the only ones to hit the same area from the first group, and the other 3 hit way below the target. And so, with this being my only 10 round session, I have to settle on just measuring what's available. So I'm going to measure the 6 rounds in the blue, not counting that one flyer. So with that, I could conclude that my BK-18 can at least do 2.2 MOA at 200 yards with the ammo that I'm using. Parnall 762x39 steel case 123 grain. Now I've experienced my hits going low before, especially with this trigger, but not to the extent of occurring 3 times in a row. So I'm not sure what happened, but with the last 2 rounds on target, it seemed a little suspicious to me. But it is what it is, and I'm hoping I can get out there in the future to do it again. So now for a little more fun. I wanted to see how fast I can fire 5 rounds, inspired by another YouTuber, Brett Koski, who also has a BK-18. So let's see how it went. Okay, so not too bad, about 23 seconds for 5 shots. After my first shot hit the steel target, it fell unexpectedly, threw me off a bit and I lost my aim point. But I continued on and just shot the berm for the remaining 4. Now I'm sure I could do a whole lot better with more practice. However, it goes to show that the BK-18 can be quite a formidable weapon if needed to be. Very cool. So there you have it, my BAIKAL IZH-18MN, also known as the BK-18 from DayZ. A single-shot break-action rifle in 762x39 in real life. What an awesome rifle. Even despite having the trigger from hell, she did perform quite well. Accuracy was surprising, and she went bang every time. I actually had a lot of fun shooting her. Working the break-action shot after shot was very satisfying. Such a simple process for a simple gun. Well, again, I had a blast doing another episode for the series, and I thank you for watching. Till next time.